Going
Hello,
on? You don't
I'm glad to see you.
glad to see you too, brother.
Oh, it's so wonderful that we can talk about your boxing journey absolutely from anywhere. Really, now it's a good time. Let me introduce you to the subscribers of my YouTube channel, Boxing on Sundays. Ladies and gentlemen, today on Boxing on Sundays, we are joined by a fighter whose journey has been built on determination, sacrifice, and years of work inside the ring. From his early days learning the basics of boxing to stepping into the professional ranks in 2017 and facing every challenge put in front of him, he has continued to test himself against different styles and opportunities. Please welcome Joshafat Ortiz.
Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you.
And I wanted to talk about your childhood. What was your childhood like and where did you grow up?
Um, my childhood was good. I was born in Puerto Rico. Then I moved to a couple of different places. I moved to Milwaukee. I moved to Los Angeles, but ultimately, I grew up in Reading, Pennsylvania, like right outside of Philadelphia. Um, but my childhood was good. Being outside playing. I come from a rough place in Reading. So just trying to stay out of trouble and stuff. Is how I found boxing.
Many fighters discover boxing in different ways. Some are inspired by family, some by TV, and some simply walk into a gym one day. The beginning is always special because it changes life forever. We would love to hear your story. How did you first discover boxing?
But I first discovered boxing like everybody boxed. My father boxed, my brothers boxed, my uncles boxed. So everybody was in this sport. I wanted to be a football player. Like I wanted, that's what I wanted to do. I didn't like boxing wasn't really what I wanted. I wanted to be a football player. Um, but I was always in the gym since a kid. Like since a little kid, I would go to the gym. I would train in the summers. I would, and once I got to a certain age, um, with football, it just wasn't. I couldn't really stay in school. I was getting into trouble and stuff like that. I really wasn't trying to be in school. So that's when my mom would finally give in because she didn't want me to box. So she finally gave in and was like, all right, you can go to the boxing gym. And I turned out to be pretty good. My first year, I want to go to the other stuff like that. So from that point on, I just stuck to it.
Every fighter remembers the first person who greeted them. Coaches often become mentors and sometimes even second fathers inside the gym. Those early lessons stay forever. Tell us about yours. Who was your first coach and what was the most important lesson he taught you?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I had several different coaches. Everyone taught me something different. Um, everyone taught me something different. So I can't really tell you my first coach. Like I said, I had so many coaches. But right now, my coaches right now, Robert Costa, Daoud Bay, great guys. That's who I'm sticking with right now. That's my career is at.
When young fighters first enter a boxing gym, everything feels different. What do you remember from your first day inside a boxing gym?
The smell, the smell. I feel like that's something that you'll never forget. Like just the smell, the I feel like you're like you not scared, but you like nervous. Like you don't know what to expect. You're in a boxing gym, you just see people. We ain't made to just fight and get punched and stuff like that. So just always like going into the gym and feeling like I can't. I want to see what's next. I want to see myself get better. I want to get in there. I want to fight these guys. I want to. I just that. That's all I remember. Always wanting to fight.
Amateur boxing is where fighters build their foundation. It teaches discipline, movement, and how to adapt under pressure. Those experiences often shape the future professional fighter. Let's talk about your amateur years. How would you describe your amateur career?
I didn't have like this super extensive like amateur career like a lot of these other guys got, but I had about I had close to 50 fights. I was in a lot of tournaments, the ringside nationals. I was in the 2016 Olympic qualifiers. I did great in that tournament. I was the Golden Gloves in PA. I won consecutively like 3 times. So I did good. I did good in the amateurs for sure. But I just I didn't have like hundreds of fights. I had close to 50.
Who was your toughest opponent as an amateur?
And amateur, dang. A lot of these guys ain't even around no more. So like you go into these tournaments, I can't really say like who was my toughest. I don't even remember these guys. Like they just in the amateur you be from different states and stuff. You don't really know these guys, but man, my toughest. I can't really think of that from the top of my head right now. I can't really think of that right now.
Amateur boxing is very fast and requires constant adjustment. Fighters need to learn quickly and react under pressure. Those experiences usually help later in professional boxing. What part of amateur boxing helped you the most in your professional career?
What part? I feel like it was more so just the intensity because in the professionals you gotta you bring it down a little bit. It's a little slower. You gotta sit down in your shots a little more. And the amateurs, it's kind of sped up. So just being able to know how to um how to work in both bases. I think that's what I was being able to know how to pick it up when I got to pick it up and how that feels like. And also being a pro, being able to know when to sit down your shots, but at the same time, things like that.
You are very, very technical boxer. What was your proudest moment as an amateur boxer?
Um, I think my proudest moment was probably just winning my first, like the first Golden Glove. That was like my proudest moment, just because like I felt like I needed to win that to keep going. It gave me like the confidence to say I could do this.
What was the biggest lesson you learned during your amateur career?
Biggest lesson, man, staying focused. Sometimes you feel like some guys ain't as good as you think they are, so you don't train as hard, or you probably slack off a little bit. I'm happy that I got to learn that early on. That now I know treat every fight against a title.
Many fighters have amateur fights that change the way they think about boxing. Sometimes one fight teaches more than 10 victories. Difficult nights often become the best teachers. Was there an amateur fight that completely changed your mentality as a boxer?
So, I think I have more sparring sessions that, changed my mind than fights.
And what part of amateur boxing, uh, what uh, what was the biggest difference you felt when moving from amateur boxing to professional boxing?
Um, honestly, me personally, I didn't feel no like big difference because, like I said, I didn't have 100, 200 amateur fights. It wasn't like I was so used to the system, all this stuff. I didn't really feel a difference. Maybe the speed, maybe just understanding the 3 rounds. So I got to try to hurry up in 3 rounds, as opposed to it being 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 rounds. I could take my time. That's probably the biggest difference.
Turning professional is one of the biggest in any fighter's life, is one of the biggest moments. It means entering a completely different world with new pressure and new expectations. It's a moment fighters never forget. Why did you decide it was the right time to turn professional?
Um, it was the right time because I wanted like my main goal was to be an Olympian. I wanted to go to the Olympics. And after like the 2016 Olympics, I didn't want to wait an extra 4 years to wait for next qualifiers. So I just go ahead and to the pro.
Joshafat, your professional journey officially began in 2017. First fights are unforgettable because emotions are usually stronger than experience. Fighters remember every second of those moments. Before fighting Daron Hester in your pro debut, what emotions were going through your mind?
I just you want to be perfect so bad, so that's really it. Like it was just like a lot of like overthinking. Like what if? But I just like just went ahead and did what I had to do.
Professional debuts often teach important lessons. Sometimes things go exactly as planned and sometimes they don't. Every fight adds experience. What did you learn from your professional debut victory?
It was so quick. It was like 30 seconds or something like that. So I didn't really get to learn much. I just wanted to go ahead and I got the feel what it was to put on 8 ounce gloves and fight without a shirt and stuff like that. But it was so fast that I just wanted to go ahead and hurry up and get to my next fight.
Your second fight versus Cedal Bloker. After your debut, you continued building momentum. Every next opponent presents a different challenge and style. Adaptation becomes important. What challenge did Cedal Bloker bring into the ring?
I think that was like my first fight. I know it was my second fight, but I felt like it was my first real fight because he was there to fight. He was fighting back. He was fighting back. He was like he was taller than me. He had like a longer reach than me. So that was like I felt like that was really the fight that like all right, professional. Like I got the feel what it was to be. The first fight I didn't really get hit. The second fight I got hit. I got the feel what it was to, move around the ring, work, in the crowd like that. So yeah, I feel like that really introduced me to professional boxing.
Was there a moment in the Seidel Blocker fight where you felt complete control?
Yeah, for sure, yeah, I also control. I feel like this game, comfortable.
Every fight gives different lessons. Some fights test patience while others test aggression. What did Yevgeny Michenov teach you inside the ring?
Um, he could take a punch. He told me there's some guys out here that can take a punch. He just kept coming forward. He kept coming forward. It was a good fight. Just taught me how to. I dealt with guys at first. I wasn't like a same dude, but just having to hit a guy over and over, guys like that. It was
Jordan Peters. What did you expect before stepping into the ring against Jordan Peters?
I expected a good fight. They were talking about Emerald Highly. That was actually the first fight that I got dropped in. I got dropped in that fight in the first round. And that was like a big experience. It was a new experience. And then the second round, I knocked him out the second round. But that was like a real fight. It wasn't like the tomato kid. Like I was a guy. I was a guy that been on a lot of amateur fights. It was a really cool fight.
That knockout was very, very impressive. I like it. Did anything surprise you during the Jordan Peters fight?
He was just like his timing was really good. That's the problem. His timing was really good. But just having to change the style of so fast, it goes back to the amateurs too. Like knowing how to pick the speed up, how to pick it up, how to pick it up. It was a 4 round fight. I got dropped in the first. You know, the most I probably could have did was get a draw. If I didn't get a knockout, so I I wanted the knockout. I wanted to
Next, your fight versus Javier Oquendo. Momentum can be very important in boxing. Every victory can increase confidence and help a fighter become more comfortable under the fights. Let's talk about another chapter of your journey. How confident did you feel going into your fight against Javier Oquendo?
I was super confident. I'm from Philly. I mean, I'm not from Philly. I trained in Philadelphia. He was from Philly. He was an undefeated fighter. Um, but I just knew these like steps that I had to take. I had to fight these guys, the other guys that fight. I had to fight these guys and really show out. I went into that fight. I was really confident. I don't know. He had Ivan Robinson in his corner. He had some good guys in his corner. So, but it was just like I came out. The crowd was going crazy for him. It was like more motivating than anything. And I got the knockout in that fight too. I think like third round.
Tell me please about your boxing style. What was going through your what part of your game worked best during the Javier Oquendo fight?
I think I was just too strong for him. I think I was too fast for him. I think everything played a part. I don't think that he like there was nothing that he could have did that was like he was gonna beat me that day. I think the Jordan Peter fight was harder than him.
Fight, fight versus James Thomas ended very, very quickly in the first round. Did you wish that fight uh, lasted longer so you could learn more about yourself?
I do wish that because that was actually like my first big card. That was a top ranked card. I think it was a Vazdik, Alexander Vazdik main event on that card, and that was in Philadelphia. Yeah, I wish it would have lasted longer just so everyone could see a little more. But knockout's a knockout. I was happy.
Andrew Bentley. Some fights are all about patience and strategy. Sometimes you cannot rush and need to trust your skills. What was the key to beating Andrew Bentley?
That was the first southpaw that I faced as a professional. So it was just um, I fought a lot of southpaws like as an amateur, sparring with a lot of southpaws, but a professional fight, so you got to be a little more cautious. So I just picked my part, being faster than anything. That was me in boxing, slowing down in boxing.
Fighters often review performances and see things differently afterward. Looking back now, is there anything you would change in that fight?
I mean, I feel like now I'm a completely different fighter. So I feel like now, I would have went. I would have went for a knockout if I won the fight.
Joshua Orta, no contest. Unusual situations sometimes happen in boxing. Not every fight ends the way people expect. Those moments can leave mixed emotions. How did you feel after the Joshua Orta fight ended the way it did?
I feel I don't know. I don't know. I feel like betrayed like by the sport. I feel like it took everything that I ever worked from me because it came back as a banned substance or something like that. And I know like I just know 100% like I never took a banned substance in my life like ever 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 knowingly I never ever 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 I wouldn't do that. You know what I'm saying and so when that came back I was mad about that because that was probably one of the best like up to that day it was the best moment of my career.
Unfinished business. Sometimes unfinished business stays in a fighter's mind. Would you like to face Joshua Orta again someday?
Yeah, for sure. I don't think they'll fight. I think it's two different levels. Different level.
Rondale Hubert. By this point in your career, you had more experience and more confidence. Longer fights also test conditioning and mental strengths. You are very, very mental strengths boxer. What did you learn from your fight against Rondale Hubert?
Um, Ronda Hoover, he came in 10 pounds overweight. So probably that's what I learned. Don't take a fight for don't get 10 pounds overweight. That shit though. Other than that was easy.
Winning a decision requires consistency and focus over every round. Did you feel in control throughout the entire fight? Tell me please about your training camp. Your fight versus Erickson, Vargas, Rudecindo. Every fight brings different strategy, energy, and pressure. Tell me please about your training camp to this fight.
It was regular. It didn't really change too much on the ball. Too much at all. I think it's like 4-1, 5 what I was, but it was just regular. Just go out there and handle business. Like, I think second round I thought.
Knockout victory. Knockout wins are always memorable for fighters and fans. How satisfying was that victory for you personally?
It was cool. I was happy. I was happy. I think yeah, I was happy. I think like before that or after that, I was so I just can't really get back. That's been my problem. And after fights for so long.
Sorry, I can hear you.
I said everything was cool. Everything was good. I ain't feel nothing. I just felt like I was happy to be back in the ring.
Stepping into fight against experienced opponents can teach valuable lessons. Every challenge gives something back. What challenge did Derek Murray present?
That was a good fight. I think that was probably like the best fight of my career. Like as far as like not for me, but as far as for learning. Like I felt like he was super tough. I feel like now people look at him and they think that he's nobody because he's getting knocked out like all the time now. But at that time, I think he only had like 3 losses or 4 losses. That when I fought him, he was good. Like he was in shape. He was coming to fight. Like now, he might be doing it just for the check. But at that time, he wasn't coming to lay down. Like we had a real good fight. It was back to back. It was a good fight. You know, I just learned to be composed. I learned. You know, I gotta be in shape. Now it's like I don't care who I'm fighting. I gotta be like super shape. You know, so you don't fight like that.
Every experienced fighter has tricks and habits inside the ring. Did Derek Murray do anything that surprised you?
No, he's a jab real good pressure. Yeah, he had real good pressure. That's really all that thing was. He was in shape. He was in great shape. Great shape.
Boxers usually have punches that feel more natural than others. Some love hooks, some prefer uppercuts, and others build everything around the jab, 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 jab. Fans always enjoy hearing details like this. What is your favorite punch and why?
I like the hook to the body. That's my favorite. I like the body shots. Why? I don't know. I like the delayed reaction. I like slow you down a little. It's a headshot for you can shake it off sometimes. But the body shot stay with you the whole fight. Sometimes fighters are as a fighter you're good at like not showing it, but it definitely hurts more than headshot.
Your combinations are wonderful. What is your favorite punch combination?
I feel like I don't have a fair punch combination. If I have a fair punch, which is that hook, but a combination, it just depends on what my opponent, what he looking like.
Hard work every day hard work. What does a normal training day look like for you right now?
Right now, so today is the weekend. I'm gonna get my run out the way. But on a weekday, I wake up real early. I wake up at 8 a.m. I wake up at 8. I go to the gym by 9. I'm always at the gym. I travel like an hour and a half to train. I train in Philadelphia. So I go ahead. I train probably for like 2 hours. Then I drive back home. I eat. Then I go ahead and I head back to the gym, strength conditioning, housing and stuff like that. Then I come back home, go to sleep, and just do it all over again. But every camp is different. Some camps, train, another an extra session, three sessions. But that's just on a regular day. But right now at this level I'm at, we definitely picking that up a lot.
Conditioning is a huge part of boxing. Some fighters love road work, while others prefer different methods of building stamina. Everyone has something they enjoy more than the rest. What is your favorite part of training camp?
I like training. I like sparring. Of course, sparring is fun, but like just training, I would think I like everything. I like the work. I like the training. I don't complain. You got to get done. I know the results. I'm not working hard and working hard, so I'm gonna choose to work hard here. So
You tell me a very, very interesting part of your boxing journey. Hard work in boxing is often repetitive. Fighters repeat movements thousands of times until they become automatic. Those habits build success. Which exercise do you think improved you the most as a boxer?
defense. I feel like just defense. I feel like you can last long in the game. You gotta have the defense. A lot of guys that don't have it, you don't stay around for a long time.
Sparring. What do you focus on the most during sparring sessions?
It depends on the fight. Depending on the fight, I'll work on different things, day by day, every day. Usually everything. That's I'm sure where you're asking, but as far as training came, look at our
Boxing is not only physical, but also mental prepare. Staying calm under pressure can be the difference between winning and losing. Mental preparation is extremely important. How do you mentally prepare yourself before a fight?
It's hard. I feel like I don't know. I listen to music or just hang out, listen to music. I like to run. I just go to runs and stuff like that. Yeah, I just live day by day. Just hang out with my family and stuff. They keep me calm and stuff like that.
Nutrition and recovery are important parts of every athlete's life. Fighters need to fuel their bodies correctly during camp. How important is nutrition in your training process? Tell me please about your diet.
I think nutrition is super important. I'm not just in training. I feel like it's important in life. I feel like you gotta eat right. You gotta do the right thing. Um, my girlfriend actually she makes all my bills and bill plans and you know keep me right throughout the whole week. So I'm always good. I'm always good. I'm always got my bill prep. Always got bills every day. Everything I need to eat. All my cars, my protein, whatever it is. It's done. So um, just have the team that's same page. That's important.
Great fighters never stop improving. Even after years in the sport, there is also something new to learn. Growth never ends in boxing. What part of your boxing game are you still trying to improve?
Everything. I think everything. I don't think nothing has a ceiling. So I think of every single aspect of trying to improve every day. As far as training, as far as eating, whatever it is, I'm gonna try to improve that aspect.
Every Every step in a career adds new experiences and new confidence. Your fight versus Mario Ezequiel Sayal Lozano. What was your strategy against Mario Lozano?
He's a southpaw, so it was really just like boxing, press him at times, just boxing and press him. It was cool. I think I got too much for boxing, but he definitely smacked it out. It was pretty easy.
You fight versus Lozano. What was the toughest moment during that fight, or was it an easy job, easy work?
It was pretty much easy, but he wasn't just doing a lot of punches.
Next, your fight versus Carlos Rosario. Boxing is a sport where difficult moments can teach valuable lessons. Losses are painful, but they often help fighters grow and come back stronger. Sometimes those nights stay in your mind for a long time. Going into the Carlos Rosario fight, what was your game plan?
Game plan for that fight, like training camp was like every night. Yeah, like my trainers was around, my manager was available for me. It was everywhere that camp was everywhere. That should have been like probably like the easiest fight of my career because it was an easy fight. It wasn't hard at all. I had no trouble in that fight, but I got like caught to the ground. I was talking to the crowd, the corners and stuff. And I was everywhere. Yeah, I was everywhere that fight. But that fight was hard. I think I still won that fight. Like I think I don't like to use the word rob, but I feel like I can fight that fight.
Every opponent brings a different style into the ring. Adjustments become important because no fight goes exactly as expected. Fighters often discover things in the moment. Was there anything Carlos Rosario did that surprised you?
Nothing. I would love to fight. I would love to fight him again. I mean, I know now it's like it probably don't make no sense, but I think like if we gonna fight, I'm not. But I don't think that it wasn't like a tough fight at all. It was pretty easy. I was just doing too much. I wasn't being myself.
Prentice Canada. Every fight creates a new chapter in a career. What was your mindset before facing Prentice Canada?
Knocked out. I just wanted to go there and knock him out. I got, it was like a comeback fight. Like again, I took every fight serious, and I learned from that past fight to take every fight serious. But hey, it didn't change the fact that I'm going to knock out like presentation.
Did you feel from first second that you had control of the fight?
Yeah, for sure. I think that for like 30 seconds. Something like
Amazing. Amazing knockout. Very, very amazing. Victories can bring motivation and confidence for the next challenge. Strong performances can push careers forward. How important was that victory for your confidence?
I don't think I ever stopped being confident. It was confident. It was just important for my career because I was out the ring for so long for that fight. So I just wanted to get back and get my career back on.
Boxing is all about adapting to different styles and situations. Every opponent asks different questions in the ring. Experiences helps fighters make adjustments. What did you expect before stepping into the ring against Travis Crawford?
I ain't really see too much of him, but I just expected like him to just box and not on the exchange so much. No, I did. I expected him to get wild. I did expect him to get wild. He kind of did it, but it was a pretty. That was the easy fight too.
Many fights become tactical battles where patience is important. Small moments can decide the outcome. Which part of your game worked best in that fight?
Just boxing and speed. Again, a big part of my career. I was training for so long. If I started, I was like 10 months. I was like in a horrible promotional contract. Um, with the people at the time, and yeah, they just wasn't delivering. So I was being so long to fight. I just wasn't like I wasn't. It took me a little longer than normally, but just getting rhythm.
Fighters usually rewatch their own performances and see differently afterward. Looking back now, would you change anything from that performances?
Yeah, I would have been more aggressive. I wouldn't have boxed so much. I would have been more aggressive, pressing the gas, trying to get him out of there.
Justin, Victoria. Boxing careers always include difficult moments. Defeats can be frustrating, but they also reveal things that victories something cannot. What was your mindset going into the Justin Victoria fight?
My mindset going into it. Of course, I wanted to win, but I was still in that contract with them people. It was a lot going on. Like it was just it was lie after lie. They was telling me that the fight was gonna be a certain day, it was a different day. Like, it was a whole bunch of things. And they said the fight was off, that I wasn't gonna fight no more. And then they ended up telling me that the fight is still on. Like it was horrible. Like I was like in a bad, just like I couldn't mentally focus on my training. I felt like I was the promoter. Oh, I was like the manager or whatever. But I also, in that fight with Travis Crawford, I was fighting like I think it was like 128. And then that fight with Valora was at 134, which is almost two weight classes above. So I damn near jumped off almost two weight classes. But I was when I did it. There's no excuses. I did it, and it was what it was. It was a good experience though.
What made Justin Victoria a difficult opponent?
Um, I don't think it was that difficult. I don't think it was difficult. I think that he was the bigger guy. Um, he had good pressure. Um, but it wasn't like I can't say it was my hardest fight. It was just it just took me too long to get started. I just couldn't just get started.
William Foster Free. Every fighter wants to challenge himself against strong opposition. Big fights often reveal character and determination more than anything else. What was your first thought when you learned you would fight William Foster?
I was happy. I was cool with it. Coming off of a Laura fight and then jumping straight into a William Foster fight. A lot of guys wouldn't have did it, but I just really believe that he couldn't beat me no matter when it was.
Preparation. Did you prepare differently for William Foster compared to previous opponents?
Yeah, I did as far as just just being in shape. Picking up the momentum. Yeah, all around I did, but more so because it was my first time round. I did 8 rounds and stuff like that before. So it being my first time round, we definitely had to step it up and turn things up and came a little more.
Tell our followers why did the fight end without a result, no contest?
Um, he quit. It was like a headbutt in like the second round or the third. Yeah, second round it was a headbutt, and then but like I got split open and he got split open. We was both split open in the same eye was like split open, and we kept fighting. We kept fighting, and it went to the third round. The third round we kept fighting, and then he said he couldn't see no more. Which, you know, it was. That's why I say like he quit because there's no way that he couldn't see. Like, my cut was bigger than his, and I was seeing perfectly. So after that, you know, and it got me so mad too because you know it's for a WBA title, you know, get me in the rankings, and, you know, it meant a lot. Um, but yeah, I felt like you know they kind of felt the way that the fight was going, they wasn't going to, you know, get it, so they ended up just, you know, saying they couldn't see it, you know, just not fighting.
Will there be a rematch? What do the promoter says?
They say yeah, but I don't think so. I wouldn't think so. I really don't believe that they'll fight me again. But that's just what they say.
And in a final part of our interview, I wanted to talk about your hobbies. Outside of boxing, every fighter is also a person with interests, hobbies, and things that bring happiness. Fans often only see fight night, but they don't always see the person behind the gloves. We would love to learn more about your outside the ring. What do you enjoy doing when you are not training or fighting?
I like to spend time with my family. I like to just hang out with my son. He plays soccer and stuff like that. So, you know, I like to, you know, just what else? I like to exercise. I'm always in the gym. Like I like to work out. Like I like to work out. I really like to work out. I don't really have no crazy hobbies outside of just hanging out with my son. You know, let me see. Yeah, that's it. That's about it. I'm always in the gym. Like I like the gym. That's it.
By the way, everyone has favorite sports and activities outside their main profession. Some fighters love football, American football, basketball, soccer, or their competitive activities. Those interests can say a lot about a person. Do you follow any sports beside boxing? Maybe American football, baseball, basketball, hockey?
Yeah, I like American football. You know, I wanted that was like my first dream. Like my dream job was to be an American football player. That's what I wanted to do. Like that's what I follow. I like that's you know, like,
Many fighters have role models and people they admired growing up. Sometimes those athletes inspire future champions. Who was your favorite boxer when you were growing up?
um, I like Miguel Cotto. That's what I like. I like Miguel Cotto and I like Lomachenko.
Miguel Cotto is one of the greatest boxers of all time, in my opinion. Puerto Rico has produced many legendary fighters throughout boxing history. Fighters from Puerto Rico have always brought passion, heart, and pride into the ring. One of the biggest names from Puerto Rico boxing is Miguel Cotto. What did Miguel Cotto to you while you were growing up?
What was it again? What did he teach me? Except what did he teach me? Man, he was just like, you know, fight anybody. You know, that's what I like about him. You know, he fought everyone at their peak. You know, he didn't say no to no challenges. He always fought, you know, with his heart. Um, and I feel like he was incredible. I really like Yoko.
Miguel Cotto had many unforgettable fights against elite opponents versus Floyd Mayweather, versus Saul Canelo Alvarez, versus Margarito, Fans around the world still discuss many of those battles. What is your favorite Miguel Cotto fight and why?
I like Miguel Cotto versus Zab Judah, and I like Miguel Cotto versus Margarito. Like his get back. He got it back. There's a lot of fighters wanted to do that. A lot of fighters wanted to backed away from that and said he cheated and ran from it. But he ran it back. He complained. He ran it back and knocked him out.
Legends leave more than victories and titles behind. They also leave lessons and inspiration for future generations. What is the biggest lesson young fighters can learn from Miguel Cotto?
That a loss isn't determined your career. If you take a loss, you just come back, you keep fighting, you keep going. That's some new stuff now. You gotta be defeated from.
Who is your favorite active boxer today?
I like being Rodriguez. Yeah, so I like being Terence Crawford. I like the pretty tires. Yeah, I think being Rodriguez.
Sometimes fighters imagine dream fights that could happen across different eras. Fans love those discussing because there are no wrong answers. If you could fight any boxer from history, who would you choose? Maybe versus Floyd?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, I like to fight Floyd. I want to see how good he really was. Like just like you can see, it's different. Like seeing somebody fight than like being in the ring with them. Like it's just different. It's different.
Music often plays a role in motivation and training. Different songs can create different energy. What kind of music do you listen to during training?
Um, I listen to like a lot of Spanish music. And I listen to hip hop, R&B sometimes, stuff like that.
And tell us please about your ring walking music.
I usually come out to like Spanish music. I usually come out to Spanish music just because I'm Puerto Rican. Just my background and stuff like that.
Movies and TV shows can sometimes become a way to relax after hard work. What is your favorite movie of all time?
So I don't watch a lot of TV, right? But movies, I like Step Brothers. I like funny movies. You know what I'm saying? I like funny movies. They just take me out my element for a little bit. I have to be so serious all the time and boxing and stuff. Just being able to just laugh, hang out and stuff. I like yeah, I definitely like Step Brothers. I think Will Ferrell's one of my favorite actors.
Some fighters are gamers, while others prefer spending time outdoors. Everyone relaxes differently. Do you play video games? And if yes, what is your favorite game?
I don't play video games. I'll be like on my phone a lot. I'll be on my phone a lot. I don't really watch TV. I don't play video games. I'll be on my phone. If not, I'm just like hanging out.
Food is something everyone enjoys, even fighters during breaks between camps. Sometimes favorite meals say a lot about personality. Hamburgers, pizza, sushi, pasta. What is your favorite food or cheat meal?
Everything. Like if I wasn't a boxer, I'd be at 300 pounds. Like I love food. Like I just love food. My favorite food I don't think that I have a favorite food. I like white. I have a favorite meal, probably some white rice, beans, steak, and I like, I like it.
Travel in our life, traveling for fights and boxing can allow athletes to see many places around the world. Certain places leave special memories. What is your favorite place you have ever visited?
I went to Colombia. I like Colombia. That was like really cool. It was like really cool just to see like um the mannerism, just the different ways, like different types of people there are. You know, being in America, it don't matter how many states you go to in America, you'll kind of see like the same kind of people. When you go to a different country, it gives you a whole different outlook on how people view life.
Every fighter dreams about achievements and goals beyond boxing too. Life is much bigger than only one sport. If you were not a boxer, what do you think you would be doing today?
Something they gotta do with sports, like something they gotta do with sports. I feel like I'm too passionate, like when it comes to like sports and stuff like that. So something like a personal trainer or something. I don't know. I never really dietitian, like something they gotta do with like nutrition and stuff like that.
What is one interesting fact about yourself that many people don't know? Because fans always enjoy hearing unexpected and fun details about fighters. Small details sometimes tell the biggest stories. What is the interesting fact about yourself that many people don't know?
Um, yes. Interesting fact. I feel like I'm like I'm a funny guy. You know, a lot of people look at me and they think I'm always serious. A mean person, or just because of maybe the way you carry yourself and stuff like that. But I think that like those who know me, and like I'm a funny person. I like to joke around. I like to make jokes all day. And, that's what I like.
Your future looks very, very interesting. What are your biggest goals for the next few years in boxing?
Like honestly, like if I had to tell you like from like a professional standpoint, it would be like be a world champion. But if I tell you from like my standpoint, it's like I want to make as much money as I can, make as much money as I can. I know along the way of making all this money, I'm gonna have to run into a world title because that's just how the game goes. The more money you make, the more at stake, and the titles count.
Every boxer dreams of reaching a certain level and facing certain names. Is there any specific boxer you would love to fight in the future?
Um, not right now. I don't really got a specific boxer. I see y'all got Lomachenko's coming back out of retirement, so we could run it. Yeah, y'all like to run
Your fight versus Vasiliy Lomachenko may be in Zufa promotion.
it. Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
And which title would mean the most to you to win one day?
I would love the WBC title just because like the most prestigious title in boxing. But I really would like the WBO too, just because it's like a Puerto Rican based title. It's based in Puerto Rico, and all the great Puerto Rican boxers have had that title. So yeah, one of those. Of course, the Ring magazine. I feel like any title, man. They world champion.
And last question. Your journey is still being written and many chapters are still ahead of you. Fans around the world will continue following your path and supporting you around the world, from Ukraine, from Europe, from Australia. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now? And both inside and outside of boxing.
See myself in like in 5 years from now, I see myself, God willing, in some of the biggest fights in boxing. At the 130-pound weight class, some of the biggest fights in boxing. Um, world champion, inside 5 years. And outside of boxing, just like investing, making some small investments, investing into businesses and stuff like that, and businesses of my own, and just I'm becoming a great entrepreneur.
Joshafat, thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today on Boxing on Sundays. It was truly a pleasure hearing your story from your childhood and amateur journey to your professional career. The lessons, the victories, and the challenges that shaped you as both a fighter and person. And and who knows, maybe one day we will see you become a WBC world champion, standing on top of the boxing wood with that green belt around your waist, green belt. And maybe boxing gives us another special moments, seeing you share the ring with Vasiliy Lomachenko in a great fight that fans would remember for a very long time. Good luck! Ukraine is wishing you success and will be following your journey. Thank you again for this interview.
Shout out to Ukraine. Huge shout out to Ukraine. I appreciate you, man. Really appreciate that. Thank you so much.
Good luck and goodbye.
Thank you. See you, brother.